Hey, so today I'm going to do another day of the Tyler Perez Day 13 review of the 67 steps, and been out a little time traveling, so I haven't been doing the program recently for the last couple of weeks. Been reading a lot of books as well, so I'm doing some book reviews soon. Today Ty was talking about the Amish. He's got a funny title for today's lesson: the Amish vacation, tap dancing to work, and avoiding what you love. So so it's interesting because really, he's talking around why people will take vacation to like cure the problem of having a 9 to 5 job, and he kind of looks at it from the Amish perspective. Ty used to live with the Amish for I think a couple of years, and he basically says, when he's living with them, he could see that these guys are pretty happy. They've got around on average 1/5 of the depression, of the average American, but they don't take any vacation. So how are they so happy without any vacation? And his sort of reason is that they have a very integrated life, so they don't have like a separate work life and a separate home life, and they have meaning and purpose in what they're doing, and so they don't really need to take a vacation from it because he says if you have to take a vacation because you're burnt out, then you probably shouldn't go back to whatever it is you're doing. And I think it's just kind of weird for most people to see it that way because we're raised in a culture that that it's normal to get a job, but it's normal to work 10, 11 months of the year and get like 1 month to yourself. And I did that for many years as well. It's just normal. You don't really know any different. Even though I thought it didn't feel right, I didn't really know there was a better way. So, but yeah, his basic point, his view is that a life where the end game is vacation is pathetic, and it's not going to be enough. It's not going to lead to a happy, meaningful life. So that's something that probably a lot of people should be thinking about. If you don't have an exit plan yet for your job, if you don't really enjoy it, he says if you're not tap dancing out of bed to work, then that's a good sign you should be doing something else. I wouldn't say I tap dance out of bed every day doing my own business, but I'm definitely a lot happier. It kind of got to a point in my 9 to 5 where I was just so upset with the lack of control and the lack of autonomy, and also the fact I'm just trading time for money and it's not coming back to me. I'm basically making someone else rich. It got to such a point where I was stressed with my job and didn't enjoy it, that it pushed me to doing my own business. And obviously that's the best thing that ever happened to me in the last few years. And I've never been happier. It's like a new phase of my life, just traveling around the world, meeting other entrepreneurs, and just kind of working on building something for myself instead of for someone else. So I'm definitely a lot happier than I used to be compared to trying to wake up in the morning and go to work for someone else. And he says that's the best gauge to kind of evaluate the happiness of life, is if you find yourself tap dancing out of bed, or generally how you feel throughout the day. And if you have to take vacation because you feel like you need a break from your job, then that's also a sign that you're not really living a fulfilled life. So it seems kind of obvious to me now, but obviously people ignore those signs, and we feel trapped, I think, because we don't know there's other things out there, there's other options out there. For me, as reading the 4-Hour Workweek, it kind of came to the right point where I could see there was another way, and I had a lot of skills with computers and IT. I was working in IT, so I ended up shifting in towards marketing and learning all about marketing and online marketing, and managed to train myself just from reading online and being motivated and persistent enough to keep trying things until finding out something that worked, and I was able to eventually transition out of my job. So it's really worked out for me. He does talk about the 4-Hour Workweek and how that's a bit of a fallacy as well, because I think Tim Ferriss, he split tested that book title, so he was trying to see what would sell best to the masses. And I think most people kind of that's their dream life, is to only have to work 4 hours in the week because they're so used to slaving away at a job they don't enjoy. So to them, if they only have to do that for 4 hours a week, then that's great, and they can do the rest, spend the rest of their day and their life doing something else they enjoy. But the same principle applies. If you're doing your own business, and then again you're not tap dancing out of bed. Even if you're building something for yourself, maybe you're not happy doing it, you should be doing something else. And again, if you need to take vacation because you're burned out from your own business or whatever, then that's a sign that it's not sustainable. You're not going to be happy doing that. So he kind of makes a distinction between vacation and downtime. The Amish, they have this natural ebb and flow to the day and the week. Saturdays start to wind down. They don't do as much work. Sunday is like the rest day. And so that's a kind of their natural downtime. And if you build that into your lifestyle, you won't get stressed out to a point where you get burned out and you need to take vacation. So it's definitely not natural to be working all the time. You need to find a way to relax. I think the Spanish here, I'm in Barcelona, by the way, and the Spanish here have a very opposite culture to America, where I would say they only have their siesta. You come down in the afternoon, all the shops are closed. These guys definitely have a natural ebb and flow to their week. They know how to take downtime, and sometimes that's frustrating because you can't get what you want in the shops, but you have to respect they're still keeping to that culture. So yeah, different cultures do it differently, but at the same time, most people here are also working 9-to-5 jobs, and they're not tap dancing out of bed in the morning, so they're not necessarily any more, happy in a general sense maybe than Americans. But yeah, that's the basic point of this lesson. You don't really need vacation to keep you happy. And if you're going to vacation, dreading coming back to work, or you're putting your happiness, you booked a vacation 3-4 months away, and you kind of put your happiness out to the future, and you're not happy now, then what kind of life are you living? 10-11 months of the year living for someone else, making someone else rich, and nothing left for yourself except a few days to escape it all. So this was very true when I was working in Singapore, and I would ask people, what are you doing on the weekend? And a lot of the guys would just tell me, I'm just going to sleep. I'm just so exhausted from the schedule this week. I'm just going to go to sleep. And Saturday and Sunday, they didn't have anything to do for themselves. They had nothing left, not even the energy to get out of bed for themselves. So I think that's tragic. I mean, the work culture in Asia is just another level of crazy compared to Europe. So it's gives you some perspective. But I think everywhere around the world we had this kind of this problem that we're not taught how to be self-sufficient. Innovation and entrepreneurship wasn't really the point of having a school system, and the school system hasn't evolved to the world we live in today. So if you want to learn these skills, how to be independent, entrepreneurial, be an investor, these are all skills that are online that you teach yourself, but no one's going to teach it to you in a college or university. And because things are changing so fast, whatever they're teaching is 5 years out of date. Anyway, so you might as well just go online and learn it yourself and save yourself all the debt of a college degree. So he talks a bit about that, and yeah, you definitely need to have natural ebb and flow. I would say even entrepreneurs like me can get burned out if you're spending a lot of day in front of the laptop. That's not really a natural life. It can get quite normal to spend long days on the laptop, and I don't feel bad about it because I feel like I'm building something for myself, for my future, and I'm investing in myself. So it's way different when I was spending a whole day at a laptop working for someone else in a 9-to-5. I can happily spend a lot of time. I had to pull myself away from the laptop to build that natural ebb and flow into my day, into my life. And so I do try and take Saturday and Sunday a bit of time off to do other things, like recording these videos, exploring the town wherever I'm traveling, like Barcelona this month. I'll go out a bit more, go out into town, hang out with other people, and definitely you need that downtime just to relax, just to do something else. In the mornings, I generally have a yoga meditation routine, which is a great kind of ebb and flow. So I'm not just constantly working all day long. Maybe I'll take a break for dinner and things like that. So you can be an entrepreneur and you can work long hours, but you can still find a way to break it up and have downtime. And if you find yourself getting burned out, again, that it's not just something that happens to people in 9-to-5. It happens to businessmen and entrepreneurs as well. So you should think about how you feel in the morning. Are you bursting to get out of bed? And if not, then something may be wrong. So I've never had that great sleep, and I've always been someone that's wakes up a bit groggy and cranky. It takes me a while to wake up. But I'm a lot easier to get out of bed these days than when I used to go work for someone else. So never take a sick day, let's put it that way. So he talks about that. He talks about missing out on an opportunity, the fallacy of that. People are always worried, they're going to miss out on the next opportunity. They see someone else getting rich on something, and they're like, shit, I should have bought that stock. It's gone up, this much, and that's kind of this opportunistic fallacy that you can get rich, I guess get rich quick. It's like you think something's happening, you want to try and ride on the wave, but really it's about doing something consistently, and you're never going to really miss out on an opportunity that made someone else rich. There'll always be another opportunity that comes along for you. And the next one he says is this doing what you love fallacy, that people just tell you to do what you love, and this is a very common thing you'll hear in self-help and self-development. And he tries to make the distinction between doing what you love and doing what you maybe have a infatuation for, or you like doing something, but can you really stick with it? When you do a business, you don't just get to do just what you love. You have to do things you don't always find fun. So you need to make sure it's something that you can find deeper meaning in. It's not like a passing fantasy or a passing lust you might have for something, but that even when you have to do the hard stuff, you're going to stick with it. And so sometimes doing what you love, trying to make money from it, can also destroy the passion. And I think that's something a lot of people struggle with too. Maybe you get jaded by it because you spend so much time trying to work out how to make money from it that you stop enjoying it. So I wouldn't say that I love everything I do, but I'm definitely getting a lot out of it in terms of I enjoy helping other businesses, and it's a huge challenge for me when I have to take on a new project and work out how to position the service or product that I'm helping that business to pitch. And so I like that variety. I like the lifestyle it gives me. So even if I don't 100% enjoy all aspects of marketing, I get to choose which projects to work on. So I choose the funner clients, the funner projects, and I know that the results, when I see those results, it's worth all the slog. So the lifestyle it gives me is really why I keep doing it, and I can change anything now. I have skills that I can apply to almost any business. So what I'm learning is really relevant for the whole rest of my future, whatever else I'm going to build for myself. So doing what you love, it's a bit of a fallacy sometimes because you don't know how to monetize it, and it can kill your passion. So you have to be careful about that. Sorry, but the helicopters seem to be flying over a lot today. And so that's pretty much the lesson for today. We're back hopefully doing a few of these videos. Now that I'm more settled here for about a month, I'll be listening to more Ty's videos and going through each day and doing reviews. So I'll be back soon, and see you soon.